So hey guys, and welcome to another daily Bitcoin update video. So before I get started with today's analysis, let me quickly cover of what has been happening recently. So for the past 2 days we have been trending pretty well. We are having a good push towards the upside. Yesterday was also a pretty interesting and green candle. So I would say even if today and for this whole week, if we just range, that would be great. Why? Because the steam, the liquidity, the fuel to keep this push towards the upside is pretty much fading away. The open interest is going lower, the volume is going down, there are no aggressive buyers, so it makes a lot of sense rather than getting a push when no one is buying. So that would be more of a manipulation move and you'll get an aggressive push towards the downside as well. So it would be much better if you just keep on ranging for some time, probably for this whole week or for at least next 2 days. Gives the market enough time to build new positions, to bring a balance in the market, and then continue the push towards the upside. And eventually we'll also be making a new lower low and then a continuation towards the upside. All right, so that would make a lot of sense. Yesterday was pretty much an indecisive candle is what I would say, even though it's a pretty interesting, pretty big green candle. So if I just check the percentage wise, it was a 3% move yesterday, but yeah, that's pretty much it. So we are seeing pretty aggressive moves recently, and now would be a great time for the market to cool off. Getting back on the 30-minute time frame. So yesterday when I was covering the analysis part, I did mention that taking out these highs would be a pretty good trade. So as soon as New York session opened, we got that aggressive push towards the upside, took out all of this liquidity, hit our important levels, and then we got the push. So this trade played out extremely well. And similar was the case with the swing lows as well, not the swing lows but the lows of the range as well. We got a sweep of that and then we eventually pumped. All right, so that is what has been happening. On the basis of news, if you see, Trump has announced that he'll be hosting some kind of dinner with all the Trump coin holders, probably the top holder. So I'm not sure how that will turn out to be, but yeah, so that was the kind of news that were driving the market yesterday, that particular news, and then the tariff news around China and all. So it was a pretty weird move yesterday, pretty sentiment driven move and not just the price action. If I check the volume of the current range that we are in, we are exiting the value area. As of now we are not inside the value area, so that is again a sign of weakness. This whole range is actually a sign of weakness, which according to me would be great if we range for some time rather than just getting aggressive push, because this will give market makers enough time to build their position and push the market towards the upside. Technically this is not a very balanced volume profile, but then yeah, it would be better if we get back inside the value area, make this a balanced volume profile, and continue the push towards the upside. Also, if I quickly check the TPO for you guys, so the current lows are fine, they are good. All right, previous day highs are good highs is what I would say. We actually rejected from a very strong level. So if you remember, when I was streaming yesterday, I mentioned about this particular level, which is also called a single print. So first I'll get to the single print part later, but then yeah, you can see we had a pretty good highs yesterday that we made. Today's highs are not so good, so that is something which we need to be considering. All right, so getting back to our chart, yesterday's trade played out extremely well. This was again a sweep of the lows and we hit a single print level, which if you check yesterday's video, you'll get to see I was exactly talking about this level. So that is the kind of levels and that is the kind of accuracy that I like to trade with. If you are interested in learning the exact same strategy that I trade with, you can check out Crypto Market Mastery. The link will be in the description. So that's the exact same strategy which I use to trade the market. So getting back, if I just quickly check out the footprint for this whole range, let me see what the market makers have been doing recently. So negative delta is what I see majorly, right, throughout this whole zone. It's actually a mix of both. We've see longs trying to push the market, then shorts were not able to push the market down, but they made this whole range. So the push towards the upside were mainly fueled by the longs, and the range was because of all the short trades. So this according to me is good. We got a reaction from our anchored VWAP as well, and then we had a single prints and a liquidity level, so it made a lot of sense to get into a long trade right around this area. But again, that were shared in yesterday's video, in all the previous videos. Technically all the trades that did not play out from yesterday's video or throughout this whole week, whatever levels and analysis that I've shared, if they have not already played out, they are still technically valid because the levels are not yet hit and they did not give you any kind of reaction. So the level that I'm marking are absolutely naked levels. Naked levels means they have not been tapped once, so they are still valid. All right, So that's what we have been saying recently on the basis of TPO, and I would like the open interest to build. I'll explain you what I expect. I was just trying to recap from what has been happening recently. All right, so we have took out the lows, we have took out the highs. That is a good sign according to me. Now if we are planning another trade on the basis of just this range, I would like a back test of this range, so I'll mark the volume profile back again. All right, and I do expect a pullback. We hit the POC of this range, and that would be a great shorting opportunity according to me. So that would be a level that you guys can mark as well, this POC, and we've got certain other levels as well which together can play out in confluence. I'll share the range that I'm looking out for. Also, if we break the previous lows that we have been making at around 91.9, I think there are certain naked point of control right below this, and if we hit them and get a reaction, that would be even better, because that would be another fake out towards the downside and we keep on pumping towards the upside. All right, also if you just check out this volume profile, the wick that we have made, another great sign, another great learning part from this video would be that we just see sellers on the top. All right, and literally no buyers around that area. So that is something which you need to consider, and that is just on the basis of your naked eyes. Do not even have to use any kind of tools for this. All right, so that is what has been happening around this week. Currently we are also below our yearly open levels. So yesterday when I was talking about, we were above the yearly open level. So current year ki jo candle thi, that was actually green, and today it's back to red. So that is something which is not something that you can use for trading, but then again an observation that we are below our yearly open level. By the time we were above it, it was showing strength, but now again we are back into a neutral zone. Now if we see the yesterday's high are good, current highs that we have been making are not good. We are building liquidity throughout this push towards the downside. I assume we might hit one of our key levels around this area, and then we'll just get aggressive push towards the upside. But again, that will only happen if we have good volume entering back into the market. All right, again, if I just zoom out a little bit, I'll probably try to switch to a 2-hour time frame. And if I just check the FRVP of this push towards the upside, we are still above the value area. According to me, that's great. If by the time we stay above it, this is absolutely bullish on the basis of volume. It absolutely is. All right, so I would want us to stay above it, probably take out the lows once again, and then keep on pushing towards the upside. I'll be fine if that happens as well. There are a few scalp opportunities as well. If you hit this volume area high, you can be planning to get into a trade right around this area as well. Other than that, for the shorting opportunity, I would say a sweep of the highs once again would be a better entry. And other than that, I am looking for a back test of this range, back test the POC, and then continue the push towards the downside. All right, so you might get to see something like this. You hit your POC area and then continue to push. You fake out your volume area high level, get a fake out push, and then eventually go even higher. All right, so that is a very high probability trading opportunity according to me. Also, as I mentioned earlier, the levels that were shared like in the previous videos are still valid. You can definitely keep an eye on them. Weekly open would be the best level that you can be looking out for right now. If you lose them, that is your most obvious shorting opportunity, and if you can reclaim your weekly open level, that will be the most obvious go long opportunity. All right, so that was the whole trading plan for the day. 91.4, I would say if you would want to mark them as a box, I would say 91,400 till 90-ish K or 91K is what you can do. This is an important zone which I'll leave you guys with. This is going to be extremely important. You can probably cover it something like this. And this is going to be extremely important zone. You are hitting your volume area high, you are hitting high volume nodes, you are taking out the liquidity. There is also a anchored VWAP right around that area, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, so we've also got this range low. Say if we are considering the anchored VWAP, we've also got our anchored VWAP right around this area. So it makes a lot of sense that we might get certain kind of reactions. If you start to lose this box, I would say every long trade that you enter into, just consider them as a scalp and do not hold them for a very long time. Alright, so that was the plan for the day is what I would say. If you guys have any question about any trades, any analysis, or if you have anything to share with me, make sure you drop them in the comments and I'll definitely reply to them, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.